If you've completely given up on the idea of actually losing your virginity, if the only thing you go around smashing are buttons, if your closet is filled with nothing but crusty old socks, if your wet dreams include nothing but video game characters, then you are definitely in the right place. You are watching the right video. This is for those people that just don't have time for life and want to explore every corner of Fallout. This is for those weary travelers who cannot leave any stone unturned. This video is basically a love letter to all you big Fallout diehard fans. We're going to be looking at the top 5 Easter eggs. Obviously, this is a condensed list. There are a number of other Easter eggs out there, or secret hidden passages or hidden locations, but we're going to try to limit it to only 5. Let me know in the comment section what other Easter eggs or secret hidden places you guys have found. I'm very curious to see what we might have missed. Let's start off with number 5. And we're going to be talking about none other than Pizza Face himself. I mentioned this before, but he basically looks like a pizza slice missing all of the cheese and most of the tomato sauce. I have no idea why all my comparisons lead back to food, but there you have it. And I would say that that is a face that only a mother could love. Unfortunately, his parents are just as ugly as him. But you do find him inside a fridge, which is a huge reference to the Crystal Skull, which was his last Indiana Jones movie. If you like the warm weather of hell, then there is an option in the video game where it allows you to sell Billy off to like some random raiders. So if you're feeling particularly evil, I think this would probably be a perfect option for you. But me, I have a conscience, so I actually ended up just returning him to his fugly ass family. For number 4, we actually have a pretty interesting little event in Diamond City, which I personally have not encountered, only because I haven't played the game during that time frame. But if you actually visit Diamond City during the festive holidays in December, from my understanding, the entire city is basically decorated with Christmas lights, and there's quite a bit to explore, you know, all throughout Diamond City. Unless you're a complete Grinch, I guess you could go around ruining, you know, people's Christmases, but I think it's a really cool nod again to those fans that love exploring the Fallout universe. It reminds me a lot of like the little Man-Bat Easter egg they had where you were supposed to visit it. I believe it was during or somewhere in the Arkham series, you were supposed to visit a certain location during Halloween, and you would be able to find either Man-Bat, or I believe you could like explore his lab. Same thing. I think it's just a nod to those hardcore fans that spend countless hours on the video game, and I think it's, you know, it's a very fantastic, very rewarding feeling to find something like that. Number 3 is incredibly depressing because, as obviously for those people that have played Fallout 4, you know that the beginning of the game basically starts with this Vault-Tec representative trying to sell you a vault, or trying to sell you a spot inside one of the vaults. The most painful irony happens though. He himself is not able to, you know, reach a spot inside one of the vaults, and he actually turns into a ghoul. So you find him 200 years later. You find him in Goodneighbor, which is a location that you can find in Boston. This is one of those really weird references where if you actually are able to find him as a ghoul, I think you kind of give a small little chuckle with kind of a half tear as well, because this pushy salesman that was just, you know, shoving a vault into your face wasn't able to find shelter himself. So I think there's, you know, it's just really painful irony, and I really love the fact that, you know, Fallout was willing to explore some very dark humor with this reference. For number 2, we have another incredibly painful Easter egg, and not so much for the lore of Fallout, but mostly it'll just remind you how freaking old you are. If you play the DLC Far Harbor Fallout number 4, you will come across a really eerily similar scene to what happens in Titanic. You will find 2 dead individuals, one residing on top of a door and the other one hanging on or clinging off to one side. As I mentioned, very reminiscent of what happens at the end of Titanic when Jack meets his inevitable demise. Although, come on, Rose, you could have moved over a couple of inches. What a cold-hearted. For the top spot, I guess it's a little bit controversial, not because it's anything divisive, but I guess it's controversial because it could have easily been lower on the list. But being a huge Jaws fan, I just had to include this one. There is a minor little Easter egg referencing Jaws in a river next to the Cambridge police station. There you will find some sort of dolphin or some sort of underspecies of a dolphin and a human, you know, a dead human corpse on the boat. And there should also be some sort of shark cage underneath the boat as well. Another small little reference. As I mentioned, it could be argued that it isn't the top reference in Fallout, but as I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the Jaws universe, the entire franchise, so I just had to put it in the top spot. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video during the intro, there are a plethora of different cool little Easter eggs and hidden locations, but there are just way too many to include into one specific video, so I just chose my top 5 or my favorite 5 for the Fallout 4 video game. We might try to go back to maybe Fallout 3 or New Vegas and try to find some cool references or hidden locations. If we ever do, I will for sure update you guys with another top 5 video, so stay tuned. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if there are any other cool references or Easter eggs that you guys found while playing Fallout 4, let me know in the comments section. Guys, stay safe out there. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for tuning in.